Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A local daycare, a fixture on the south side, in ashes this morning after a fire destroyed it. We hear from the owner, who says they will overcome this setback. That story straight ahead.
Good morning, San Antonio. I'm Jonathan Cotto. The San Antonio, New Braunfels metropolitan area is reporting a decrease in unemployment. What those numbers look like coming up on GMSA.
Let's take a live look out of the Alamo City. 71 degrees out there, but it is humid. We're going to check it with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments. But for now, good morning. It is 6 o'clock this Saturday, April 16th. Thank you so much for starting your weekend with us. How's the hair weather?
It's not good.
Not good.
Not good. I was sprinting to the desk this morning because I was like, it's not working because it's humid outside, Sarah, and I feel like it's back, you know?
Yeah, the humidity is back. Heat index is going to be the big story today for us, guys. It is going to be hot and humid all Saturday long, and we could throw in an isolated storm or two there in the mix as well. But yeah, outside right now, you take a look out there, it's cloudy, it's 71 degrees. Dew points are in the upper 60s. So it really does feel very humid outside. You step outside, you can feel the humidity. Winds from the south at about 10 miles per hour. Let's take a look at temperatures across the KSAT 12 viewing area, generally in the low 70s. It's 70 in Uvalde, 72 in Hondo, 72 in Pleasanton, 69 in Kerrville, 72 in Del Rio, 72 in New Braunfels. Closer view at the metro area here at 68 in Bernie, 70 in Comfort, 70 in Bulverde, 71 in the Converse area, and 74 at Stinson. So Easter weekend. Big weekend for a lot of people, going to enjoy some time outdoors. Today, Saturday, hot and humid is the big story. 93 for the high temperature. Yes, we could have a stray storm, and coming up in the forecast, I'm going to talk about that. But tomorrow for your Easter, again, another warm and humid day. A high temperature close to 90 degrees, and there is a slightly better chance for afternoon storms on Sunday, but the key word there is isolated in afternoon and into the evening too. So your Easter forecast and that chat about a stray storm today coming up, as well as the heat index forecast too. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. In your top stories this morning, the owner of a Southside daycare hoping to rebuild after a fire tears through the facility. This morning, firefighters continue looking for what caused the flames. So this was Guardian Angel Daycare Center on Pleasanton Road. As a longtime daycare and youth activity center, it is now gone. Now, these are pictures and videos shared by an employee of Guardian Angel. Windows busted out, debris scattered everywhere, hallways and rooms left unrecognizable. Firefighters say the flames started in the middle of the building. They spread quickly throughout the entire business. The odd shape of this building and the heavy flames making it impossible for firefighters to even enter. The homeowner, or the owner of the business, watching as his late wife's legacy goes up in flames, but he says he will find a way to continue serving children and our community.
I see fire coming out, I see my roof coming down, but the part of the building in the back, they're still good. So we might be able to salvage, and we might be able to continue with the back part of the building, or get a portable building, or get something that will, I don't know, God will guide us.
Investigators have begun combing through the rubble, looking for any clues as to what sparked the fire and has left so many on the south side devastated.
It's National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, and one dispatcher's work during a murder-suicide call is receiving high praise from the Bexar County Sheriff. Late last month, a man called 911 saying he had killed a woman and was planning on taking his own life, all while in front of a baby. It was at the Esperanza Apartments off Petrenko on the far west side. Stacy Nielsen was the dispatcher on the line with him and was able to get deputies to the scene in 3 minutes. Sheriff Javier Salazar called her work heroic. Nielsen, while honored by the comment, says she was just doing what she was trained to do. The mother of 2 decided to become a dispatcher after experiencing domestic violence 5 years ago.
I wanted to help other people who had been through similar situations like me. So that's why I chose to become a dispatcher.
Along with saving lives, Nielsen is also helping protect the mental health of first responders. She is on a peer counseling team, so she's able to meet with other dispatchers and deputies and their families who may be in crisis and help them through it. Training to become a dispatcher takes anywhere from 6 months to a year. If you would like more information on how to become a dispatcher, we have those details right now on KSAT.com. And considering the situations first responders can find themselves dealing with or involved in, there is a new resource that is being made available to protect their mental health.
Patty Santos tells us about a former law enforcement officer who is now using his experience to help others.
I remember the first time I heard the Cops theme when my dad was watching at 11 o'clock at night. I heard it come on. I had to make a beeline to his room just so I can jump on the edge of bed and watch Cops, because that was the thing to do. I was in love with this since I was a little kid.
For Preston Kinnigan, the police uniform was a badge of honor. It was his dream to serve and protect the public, but he soon experienced the dark side.
You come home and you're not in a good mood. You're upset. You had to deal with some horrible stuff. You had to see some horrible things that people shouldn't have to see, because people shouldn't be doing it to each other, and it really starts to affect you.
After 6 years, he stepped away from law enforcement, but he came back to help people like him battling PTSD.
We're asking our first responders to go out there and handle people with mental health issues when they're suffering from a form of mental health themselves, whenever they're dealing with trauma day in and day out and developing PTSD.
And that's how the nonprofit Warriors of Rameth was born. It's a support group. They meet in this room at River City Church in Selma. Combat veterans and first responders come together and learn how to manage their trauma.
I hope they feel that they're encouraged, that there is something beyond what they're feeling. There's something beyond that dark feeling that they feel when they're dealing with post-traumatic stress.
Ian Brown, who's retired from the Army, says the group is a safe haven of anonymity where everyone opens up and shares their thoughts without fear of being blackballed.
Come forward. There's nothing wrong with telling people that you need help.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
New this morning, good news on the jobs front. Our region trending in the right direction when it comes to people being employed.
Workforce Solutions Alamo releasing the March unemployment report. Our Jonathan Cotto is live with more on this. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Max. It seems like strong and solid hiring, strong wage gains, and sharp price increases are driving Americans to the workforce. And here in San Antonio, that solid hiring is definitely showing. Workforce Solutions Alamo is reporting that the March unemployment rate for the 8-county San Antonio New Braunfels metropolitan area is 3.5%. That's a decrease of 0.7 percentage points over the month from February's rate of 4.2%. And since March of 2021, the unemployment rate has dropped 2.5 percentage points from a rate of 6.0. The March unemployment rate for the San Antonio New Braunfels metropolitan area, listen to this, lower than the state's not seasonally adjusted rate of 3.9%. Now, more than 55,000 jobs have been added to the San Antonio area, and if this downward trend of unemployment sustains, that's good news for businesses that have been desperate to fill in jobs. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. And morning headlines, police in Houston say a driver is dead after a suspect leads him on a chase, crashing into several vehicles on the highway. The police chief says an officer initially attempted to stop this suspect, but instead refused to stop and sped up. He says a suspect ran a red light, causing him to collide into 5 vehicles. One innocent driver died at the scene, and their passenger was taken to the hospital in critical condition. So far, no other injuries have been reported. The suspect was taken into custody.
Headed to New Mexico, the McBride fire burning more than 6,000 acres, and it continues to burn this morning. So this is happening in Ruidoso. At least 2 people died trying to escape these flames. Hundreds of people living in that area, they have been forced to evacuate. The fire already destroying more than 200 structures, and it's just one of the several wildfires burning in that state. Time now, just about 6:09, 71 degrees out.
There's more to come on GMSA. Twitter officials say if Elon Musk doesn't come to the table with an open mind when they are willing to take the, quote, poison pill to stop him from buying the company, we'll tell you what that means.
So much fun.
Yeah.
All right, back here at home, Easter.
Actual real fun.
Yeah, actual fun out there. Except if you don't like the humidity. Easter camping returns. Find out how campers are making sure they celebrate Easter in the perfect spot.
Perfect spot in my living room.
Perfect temps.
With the perfect temps. Right now, 71 degrees. That humidity is lingering at 6:09. Sarah Spivey has your Easter weekend forecast. We come back.
Good morning and welcome back. 6:12 this morning. Yesterday, kind of the calm before the rush to celebrate Easter in 9 different city parks.
After 2 years, the tradition of camping in the park is back and families are excited. A lot of families have already, staked out their spots and marked them very well. This is what it looks like in Brackenridge Park. Some even chaining their belongings to make sure they stay put. They know what they're doing. Some people we talked to are glad the city's allowing the tradition to continue this year, and they are gearing up to enjoy family and good food throughout Easter weekend.
Today we get to eat some fish because we're going to have some fish fry. So that's the showstopper. I mean, for me at least, it's food, right? As long as it's food, that's what I want, food. So.
Well, the city is asking campers to remove all trash before they leave the park.
Curfews for the parks go back into effect on Easter at 11 p.m. Are you a big camper?
No.
No.
I'm real honest. I love being outside. I'll be outside all day, but at the end of the day, I want to come inside.
Yeah, air conditioning,
my bed, shower,
Yeah. Well, Sarah Spivey, you're saying got to stay hydrated if you are out and about today.
Yeah, I hope people stay hydrated and have the KSAT Weather Authority app because there is an off chance for a shower or thunderstorm this weekend too. Now, I'm of the camp where I feel like we could really use the rain, but again, only isolated showers and storms this weekend. The big story today is going to be how humid and hot it is. Let's take a look outside right now. It's 71 degrees, but the number I'm really paying attention to today are the dew points. So dew points are going to stay very high today. It is going to feel a lot hotter than the thermometer reads, closer to 100. That's what it's going to feel like this afternoon. Outside right now, though, it is in the 70s, 70 in Bulverde, 72 New Braunfels, 72 in Hondo, 70 in Devine, 74 at Stinson, 72 Pleasanton, 69 in Kerrville, and 69 in Bandera. Let's take a wide view here of the state of Texas. Look how cold it is in the Panhandle. It's 37 degrees in Amarillo. Why am I showing you this? Well, we're not going to get that cold, but this cold front is going to throw a little wrench in our Easter weekend forecast by bringing us an off chance for a shower or a storm. So as you can see on the broad view of the satellite and radar, most of the rain associated with this system is nearer to that low pressure system. There's severe thunderstorms across parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma this morning. That front is going to slide to the south and end up stalling in the hill country today. And so especially in the hill country, there could be an isolated shower or storm, not during the morning or midday hours, but into the late afternoon and early evening. That's when there's a possibility for a stray storm or two up north of San Antonio, mainly in the hill country. Otherwise, in San Antonio, it is going to be hot. This is a look at the forecast highs for the day. It'll be 93 in San Antonio, 96 in Castroville, 95 in Rio Medina, 93 in Seguin, 92 in New Braunfels, near 90 degrees in Boerne, and it should be 95 in the Kerrville area. But the kicker is, as I've been saying, the number to pay attention to today is how humid it is. Dew points are in the upper 60s, low 70s at the absolute top of the scale. So because of that, it is going to feel 5 to 10 degrees warmer than what the thermometer actually reads. This is a look at the forecast heat index for this afternoon. It'll feel closer to 97 in San Antonio, feeling closer to 100 out west toward Uvalde and Sabinal, and as well as Devine, feeling like 95 in Seguin and 95 in Comfort. So if you know anybody who's out camping today, make sure that they stay hydrated. And of course, if you have any plans outdoors today, know that it is going to be hot and humid, feeling a lot like a summer day this afternoon. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Staying cloudy through the morning hours here. Those clouds are going to be stubborn. We'll be in the 70s. It is not going to be as windy as the last few days. Winds will only be from the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we head into the lunch hour and into the afternoon, we'll start to see skies clear, and that's when temperatures are really going to warm up. We'll be in the upper 80s by 2 p.m. And then into the afternoon, 93 for for the high temperature this afternoon. And again, we introduce an off chance for a stray shower or storm, especially in the hill country. And again, winds from the south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow is Easter. For morning services, it's going to be quiet, 70 degrees. Midday, right around lunch, Easter lunch or Easter egg hunt's going to be quiet too, 80 degrees around midday. And then in the afternoon and evening, we are going to be on the lookout for an isolated shower or storm, but most of us will miss out on the rain. A high temperature close to 90 degrees Easter afternoon and evening. And coming up in the forecast, I'm going to show you the future cast for Easter Sunday in the next half hour here of GMSA. But just know for now, 10% chance for a stray shower or storm, hot and humid today, 88 tomorrow, and a slightly better chance, but still isolated showers and storms. It's going to be slightly cooler for the start of the week, but still warm with highs in the 80s. Another chance for isolated rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. What's the theme here I'm seeing? Only isolated showers and storms. We still haven't gotten that big spring-like weather pattern to bring us healthy rainfall, Sarah and Max. But more on tomorrow's chance for isolated showers and storms in a bit.
Yeah, that rain needs to decide just to be somebody. Just like go for it, right, Sarah?
That was a motivational speech. The rain needed. Thank you, Sarah. 6:18, 71 degrees out.
All right, Elon Musk, aggressive move to acquire Twitter could backfire on him. What company officials say they are willing to do to stop him in his tracks.
And one of the iconic voices of college basketball praising his doctors and nurses. We're going to tell you about his battle against cancer.
In entertainment news, Liz Sheridan, the actress who played Jerry Seinfeld's mother on the hit TV show Seinfeld, has died. Sheridan had just celebrated her 93rd birthday earlier this week. Her death comes within 2 weeks of the death of fellow Seinfeld cast member Estelle Harris, who played George Costanza's mother. Although best known for the Seinfeld sitcom, she had a long history on Broadway as well. The celebrated actress is survived by her daughter and son-in-law.
College basketball legend and icon Dick Vitale celebrating after revealing his cancer is now in remission. So he expressed gratitude to the doctors and nurses who cared for him. The sports icon undergoing 7 months of chemotherapy, finally ringing the victory bell at Sarasota Memorial Hospital's Cancer Institute earlier this week. The 82-year-old sharing his fight on social media, posting updates, posting positive motivational tips. He was diagnosed with lymphoma back in October, just months after he had multiple surgeries to remove melanoma. So congratulations. So excited for he and his family for the great news.
Good news.
Time now, 6:23, 71 degrees out.
Up next, the latest on Elon Musk's attempt to take control of Twitter. What's the latest and what comes next? Okay, Elon Musk wants Twitter, but Twitter is making moves to keep that from happening.
So the company reportedly implementing something called a poison pill. Now, that could make it more difficult for Elon Musk to acquire the company. No, it is not an actual arsenic poison pill. Twitter's board of directors announced it's basically using a provision that preserves the right for Twitter shareholders other than Elon Musk to acquire more shares of the company at a cheaper price. As a result, this move could effectively dilute Musk's stake in the company.
So the provision will be triggered if Musk or any other investor gets more than 15% of the company's shares. Right now, Musk has about 9% of Twitter's shares. To be clear, that poison pill won't necessarily stop Musk in its tracks, but it could make buying Twitter even more expensive and encourage him to negotiate with the company. I said this earlier, it's a Twitter situation. It's not me, it's you.
But
situation.
It's interesting because Papa John's did this before with their founder to stop him from taking control, and Netflix a few years back with Carl Icahn. So good work.
Good work.
Time now, just about 6:28, 71 degrees out.
All right, in our next half hour, we are once again seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases. We'll explain.
And still to come, taxes in the post-COVID era, they're complicated. So we have what you need to know before you file, and tax day just around the corner. Good morning, welcome back, and happy Saturday. 6:31 this Saturday. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. We're starting with a lot of humidity.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of it.
Not a fan, just fixing the hair in the break. I think it looks fantastic for what it's worth.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try not to use product in my hair, but girls, it is a hairspray, gel in, or Or men.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I don't use product either.
Max with all the product in the
uses
world.
more product
I'm
than
like,
you and I
come
do,
on.
let's be honest.
Really does. He's got the best hair in
He does.
television.
He
Oh,
has
thank
great
you.
hair, Max. All right, but yeah, it is humid, and that is going to really affect how it feels today. At 71 degrees in San Antonio right now. Meanwhile, it's nearer to 70 up in Kerrville, 72 in New Braunfels, 71 in Pleasanton, 72 in Hondo. But because it's going to be so humid today, this is what it's going to feel like this afternoon. Forecast heat index close to 100 degrees in San Antonio. It is going to be a hot one. So if you have plans today, make sure to stay hydrated. It is going to feel like summer outside. Honestly, probably feeling more hot so far today than it has for most of the year. So keep that in mind. A couple of things to chat about in the forecast. What's up with the weather this Easter weekend? Of course, just hot and humid today, as I mentioned. And then for Easter Day itself, we're going to have a quiet morning and a quiet midday, but in the afternoon, we could have some isolated storms Easter afternoon and early evening. So I'll detail your Easter forecast coming up in a bit, and I'll show you a zoomed in look at the metro area for today's heat index values in just a few minutes. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, Workforce Solutions Alamo releasing the latest unemployment report, and it's good news.
Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live to break down those numbers. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Sarah. And just like Max said, it's definitely good news. And it's as simple as people are hiring and people are applying. Let's take a look at what those numbers look like. We know Workforce Solutions Alamo is reporting that the March unemployment rate for the 8-county San Antonio New Braunfels metropolitan statistical area is 3.5%. That's a decrease of 0.7 percentage points over the month from February's rate of 4.2%. Since March of 2021, the unemployment rate has dropped 2.5 points from a rate of 6.0%. The March unemployment rate for the San Antonio New Braunfels metropolitan area lower than the state's not seasonally adjusted rate of 3.9%. Now, Max, Sarah, more than 55,000 jobs have been added to the San Antonio area. And if this downward unemployment rate sustains, that's definitely good news for business owners who have been trying to fill in those job positions. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, the Passion Play, a decades-long tradition here in San Antonio, taking place in person for the first time in 2 years. The reenactment held on Good Friday. Now, many gathered to see the Passion Play once again take to the San Antonio streets. The procession starting with a prayer service at Milam Park, ending with the powerful moment reenacted in front of San Fernando Cathedral, the chapel of the Incarnate Word, also recognizing the religious holiday with special music. 14 acclaimed organists along with 14 Sisters of the Incarnate Word all performing.
Well, as friends and family are gathering to celebrate Easter around the U.S., there are concerns about potential spikes in COVID-19 cases. It comes as cases nationwide trend upwards, fueled by 2 new Omicron subvariants. But a new device about the size of a suit could help detect COVID-19 sooner. It can administer up to 160 tests per day and offers rapid results in less than 3 minutes. The company says the device isn't an at-home screening method. Instead, it has to be used in a place like a medical office or an airport. Health experts warning people to stay vigilant.
We know how to gather together safely now. If you're going to see somebody high risk, get a test before you do that.
Meanwhile, the state of California is delaying plans that require students to get vaccinated against COVID-19 until the next school year. The earliest that policy would go into effect is July of 2023.
And in other health news, good news for anyone waiting to get their third COVID mRNA shot. According to a study published this week in the JAMA Network Open Journal, safe outcomes were reported for people who got that third dose. Now, the findings based on a nearly 48,000 people study. Now, those people receiving an additional dose between December 2020 and October 2021. Researchers say the subjects did not have an increase in severe reactions. There was an increase in mild effects. There are some limitations to the data, including the study didn't identify symptoms that were not associated with vaccinations before they got them. Well,
the U.S. Food and Drug Administration can now regulate vape products that are marketed marketed illegally. So vaping companies had previously used a loophole provided by the form of nicotine used in their products to keep the agency at bay. They often would switch the source of nicotine in vape products to synthetic to get around regulators and keep their products on store shelves. But that loophole closed this week. Now, anyone who makes or sells non-tobacco nicotine must comply with FDA regulations. Companies that make these products must also register them with the FDA. They also have to submit a pre-market application by May 14th in order to stay on the market legally. Well, food prices are going up, and that has caused a lot of people to go outside to do their own gardening for fruits and vegetables.
RJ Marquez explains an uptick in people doing their own gardening and what the San Antonio Food Bank is offering now that they have a motivation to have a green thumb.
So everybody's really trying to get involved in gardening, learning how to kind of grow food for themselves.
Angela McDermott has been with the San Antonio Food Bank for more than 6 years, and over the past few months, she has seen a sharp increase from people wanting to grow their own produce.
Schools that have wanted to come out and tour our space, seniors want more access to fresh food and want to garden more.
This home gardening trend is in part to the rising costs of groceries. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reported the Consumer Price Index for food, which measures inflation, is up nearly 8% from February of 2021, the largest increase since 1981. McDermott says investing into growing your own food pays off in the long run.
$5 to $20 now for a fruit tree will probably give you within 3 years, a good $200 worth of fruit.
And for anyone interested in at-home gardening, the San Antonio Food Bank is offering classes, tours, and volunteer opportunities for anyone of any age group that wants to get this hands-on experience. James Revels is taking matters into his own hands at Evergreen Garden Center off Hildebrand.
Also, I picked it up in the last year or so.
It took Revels some time to learn how to grow his own herbs and spices, but it's helped his bottom line.
Getting the pots and actually getting the plants and everything kind of takes a lot, but then after they start growing and then you learn more how to cook with them, it kind of adds up.
And he says home gardening has affected more than just his wallet.
It's also enjoyable, not only for the money aspect, but just getting out in the nature, getting some sunlight.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
All right, so you've been gardening for a while.
Pack your patience.
Pack your patience.
And lots of trial and error, because I've been doing this for a couple of years. I'm still not the best. So you put all this time and energy, and you're like, oh, that plant died.
We're still waiting for you to bring in some samples.
Robert Flowers, our director, he's way better. He knows.
Well, shout.
Shout out.
All right, time now, 6:39, 71 degrees out.
All right, in Texas Eats, David Elder is giving us an eye full of some sizzling fajitas. That's still to come.
But first, Tax Day Monday, we're pointing out some important changes you need to be aware of so the IRS accepts your tax return.
This humidity, badly today. 71 degrees at 6:39 this morning. It's going to be a very warm Easter weekend. Sarah Spivey will explain when we come back.
Good morning, welcome back, and happy Saturday. We know a lot of people out and about camping this weekend. Gotta pack a fan.
I know. I go outside. I love being outside, but at night, I need the AC.
Oh my goodness. And not only will people be camping as a tradition, but of course, there's lots of things going on with Easter services and Easter egg hunts, all of that.
Oh my gosh, melted chocolates in those plastic eggs.
Not so much.
Okay.
But it will be hot, especially today. Today is going to be, the heat index is going to be near 100 this afternoon. All right, let's take a look outside right now. Cloudy skies. These clouds are going to be stubborn. We're really not going to see them totally clear out until the afternoon. But in spite of that, it's still going to get up into the 90s today. 71 degrees at the airport right now in San Antonio. South-southeast winds at 7 miles per hour. We're really not going to see very windy conditions today, which is a bit different than the last few days. Our winds will be from the south at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but the humidity is going to stay high all day long. Let's take a look at temperatures around the KSAT 12 viewing area at 71 in San Antonio, out to the west in the 70s in Eagle Pass, 75 in Cotulla, closer view here of San Antonio and the metro area at 68 in Bernie, 69 Rio Medina, 73 in Castroville, 72 in New Braunfels, 70 in Comfort, 69 in Kerrville. But again, the humidity, the big story today, humidity is going going to stay high near 70 degrees. So at the absolute top of the scale, it feels like a wall of water, it makes your hair all messy, and it's oppressively humid, and it makes it feel a lot hotter than what the thermometer actually reads. This is a look at the forecast heat index values this afternoon. Yeah, you're seeing that right. It's going to feel close to 100 degrees in San Antonio, feeling like 98 in Port SA, 96 in Commerce, feeling like 100 in Devine, feeling like 101 in Sabinal, feeling like 96 in New Braunfels, and feeling like it's in the mid-90s up in the hill country too. So in your KSAT 12-hour forecast, again, these clouds are going to be stubborn this morning. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s by 10. We'll have south winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's once we get to the lunch hour and into the early afternoon that we'll start to see skies clear, and that's when temperatures are going to skyrocket. By 2 p.m., we'll already be in the upper 80s. And then as we head into the later afternoon hours, our highs are going to be in the low 90s. But again, because of the high humidity, it's going to feel closer to 97 in San Antonio. South-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And yeah, there is a 10% chance for a stray shower or storm. And that's mainly up in the hill country. So in areas across the hill country, even though the chance for rain is low, 10 to 20%, if a storm does develop this afternoon, it could become severe. So a risk for isolated strong to severe storms, especially up in the hill country, and northern San Antonio is on the fringes of that. But the main area of severe thunderstorms is going to be across areas in Arkansas and Louisiana, out across the Mississippi. And this is the system that is creating those storms right now. And it's also the system that's going to bring us the chance for isolated showers and storms on Easter Sunday. So a cold front is draping the panhandle of Texas, and this is a particularly potent cold front for this time of year. Look at the temperatures behind this front. It's in the 20s and single digits. We are not going to get that cold, my friends. And in fact, this cold front is going to really run up against the very warm air here in San Antonio and kind of fall apart as it moves closer to San Antonio. So for your Easter Sunday, we'll start off. Easter, for the most part, is going to be quiet, all right? In the morning, we'll be close to 70 degrees. Right around the midday hours, when church is letting out and we do Easter egg hunts, it should be near 80 and quiet. But into the later afternoon and early evening hours, that's where we could see some isolated storms develop on Sunday. But the big story on Easter is going to be the heat and humidity, too. It's going to be close to 80 to 90 degrees and feeling a lot hotter than that because of the high humidity. But we'll be watching out for those isolated showers and storms on Easter Sunday itself. Again, the big story this weekend, not the chance for isolated rain, but the heat and humidity. Feeling hot today, close to 100. A little bit cooler tomorrow, but still warm. And then in the week ahead, warm and humid for most of the week. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, Monday, April 18th is the deadline to file your taxes. Filing your taxes in the post-COVID era can be complicated and sometimes confusing. Laws are changing all the time.
For instance, income tax brackets increase to account for inflation. Ursula Perry explains what else you need to know before you file.
There's still about 24 million tax returns, mine included, that have yet to get processed by the IRS.
The first thing to expect this tax season is not to expect your refund anytime soon. That's due to IRS staff shortages. So don't even try to call and complain.
According to the latest statistics, there were 32 million phone calls that they have the capacity to answer in a given year. Last year, they got 250 million phone calls. So about 90% of the phone calls to the IRS simply go unanswered.
Did you or didn't you get your stimulus check?
A lot of folks might not have seen that in their mail or might have thought it was junk mail. And so they now have to go through the process then of claiming that stimulus check if they didn't get it on their tax return.
The child tax credit is causing confusion as well. Many people only got half last year. They're now eligible for the other half.
So the other half could be as much as $1,500 to $1,800 per child.
Another misconception, no extra charitable donations can be written off. A standard deduction is $300 for singles and $600 if you're filing jointly. but there is some wiggle room.
There's an ability to write off donations to charity that is above and beyond your standard deduction, and it can be a deduction of another $600 for a married couple.
This is the first year in 3 years where you're not going to have additional time to file your taxes. They'll be due Monday, April 18th. You have to get your return in by midnight. If you do file an extension, that'll give you till October 15th. But if you owe taxes, you have a tax liability, you're still on the hook for what you owe by April 18th. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
All right, time now, 6:50, 71 degrees out.
Well, today's preview of Texas Eats is coming up right after the break. Okay, today on Texas Eats, starting at 10 a.m., David Elder takes us to a new restaurant cooking up popular pollos asados.
All right, not to mention some amazing fajitas. Here's a preview.
So how much chicken do you get with this one?
You get a whole chicken.
Okay.
You also get your rice and all that other good stuff that comes with it.
Nice. And then this one right here, this can feed how many people?
Roughly, if you're really hungry, probably one person. But you know what I mean? If you want to share, 2 people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you and I we could take that down.
Yeah, I would take it down.
Yeah, we would
definitely take that down.
Cheers to you. This is the chicken out here. That's the bite.
Oh yeah.
The pollos asados, the chicken that's out here is so good. They're using a mesquite charcoal, secret seasoning blends, right? And they're marinating it in a secret marinade. They really don't give too much out here on the information, but I tell you what, it is delicious. You can get whole chickens on the platter. You can also get 2 whole chickens on different platters as well. Lots of options. Plus on the pareado plate, you get a whole chicken and beef fajitas. It is so good.
Yes.
Need all of it.
Yes, we're hungry.
Like 2 baskets of chicken. All right, just about 6:55, 71 degrees out.
Here's
Coming up on GMA, the fight for control over eastern Ukraine intensifying as the war over the country continues. Russia suffering a financial cost after the sinking of their flagship this week after it was struck by 2 missiles. The grim warning from Russia's foreign ministry to the U.S. and allies against sending any more weapons to Ukraine, as Ukraine's President Zelensky comments overnight on the support from the global community affecting the length of this war. And they're back. Harry and Meghan making their first appearance in Europe together after exiting the royal family. The Duke and Duchess kicking off the Invictus Games in the Netherlands after their royal reunion with the Prince of Wales and the Queen. We have the latest details from our team on the ground at The Hague. And with credit card interest rates rising and at the highest we've seen in recent years, we're sharing tips from experts to help keep you out of credit card debt. It's all ahead here on GMA.
Good morning, San Antonio. I'm Jonathan Cotto. It's Easter weekend, so that means food, family, and fun. And folks camping out at parks. So we're going to be heading out to those parks and seeing what they're throwing on the grills and how the experience has been so far. Coming up on GMSA.
We're going to have to deal, though, with high humidity today and heat. Temperatures say should be in the low to mid 90s for the highs. This is, of course, after the cloudy start now. 93 degrees for the high temperature in San Antonio, but a heat index closer to 100 because of the high humidity. It'll feel more like 97 in San Antonio, closer to 100 in many other places around San Antonio. We're going to have a small chance for an isolated shower or storm this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon as well on Easter Sunday. But if you're planning on enjoying Easter services, Easter egg hunts in the midday hours, things should be nice and quiet for you. Just again, a little warm, a little humid. And in the week ahead, warm and humid is going to be the name of the game. No significant chances for rain, just a few isolated showers and storms here and there in the week ahead.
Sarah, how much do we need the rain right now?
Absolutely need it. So exceptional drought has been working its way in. Very, very intense drought across much of Texas right now. We could use a good rainmaker. We just don't have it in the forecast over the next several days.
Sarah, thank you so much. You got to give the motivational speech to the rain. Be somebody.
Be someone, Rain. You can do it.
We're going to take an hour-long break for Good Morning America, but we'll see you back here at 8 a.m. We got a lot to talk about.
We'll see you at 8.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, the latest on the war in Ukraine after the bodies of more than 900 civilians are found right outside the country's capital. We have the latest.
And a Bexar County dispatcher is being recognized for her work during a murder-suicide call. Plus,
everyone making their way out and enjoying their time here for Easter weekend. We're going to bring you those details and what it's looking like out here at the park coming up on GMSA.
As you can see, Jonathan Cotto wearing a t-shirt. That is because it is warm and humid out there. But we did just hear from Sarah Spivey that there's little raindrops on one of the cameras. We're going to check in with her in just a few moments. For now, good morning. It is 8 o'clock this Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
good morning. Happy Easter weekend as people start getting their festivities going at the parks, maybe firing up the grills. Sarah, we are telling the rain to be somebody. I think it might have, it kind of heard me.
No.
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's really only some patchy drizzle out there right now. As you can see on one of our live cams outside, a little bit of drizzle there on the camera, but it is not amounting to much, just a bit of a nuisance, and really highlights the fact that it is very humid outside. It's 71 degrees, cloudy, dew points are in the upper 60s, near 70 as well. So we do have areas of patchy drizzle, but mainly it's just a humid and gray morning. Southeast winds at about 10 miles per hour. Here's a look at the humidity at the absolute top of the scale. Dew points getting into the 70s. Very humid outside. That's going to make it feel all the more hotter this afternoon when we eventually see some sun. Outside right now, if you're stepping out the door in New Braunfels, it's 72. It's 71 in Hondo, 73 in Pleasanton, 72 in Eagle Pass and Del Rio. Closer view here of San Antonio, 75 at Stinson, 73 Pleasanton, 70 in Canyon Lake, 70 in Comfort, and 68 in Kerrville. Again, you can see the humidity, you can feel the humidity, and today we are going to see some sunshine in the afternoon. That's going to allow us to warm up into the 90s. It is going to be hot and humid, and coming up, I've got to look at the heat index values for this afternoon. And there is an off chance for a stray storm north of San Antonio today. Easter Sunday, mostly going to be quiet and warm, but once again, an off chance for a few storms in the afternoon. So we'll be walking you through the futurecast, and of course I'll show you again the heat index values forecast for today coming up in just a bit. Sarah and Max.
Thank you, Sarah. This morning, a local dispatcher's work during a murder-suicide call is winning high praise from the Bexar County Sheriff. Late last month, a man called 911 saying he had killed a woman and was planning on taking his own life, all while a baby was there. It was at the Esperanza Apartments off Petranco on the far west side. Stacy Nielsen was the dispatcher on that call with him and was able to get the deputies to the scene in just 3 minutes. Sheriff Javier Salazar says her work was heroic. Nielsen, while honored by the comment, says she was just doing what she was trained to do. The mother of two decided to become a dispatcher after experiencing domestic violence 5 years ago.
I wanted to help other people who had been through similar situations like me. So that's why I chose to become a dispatcher.
Along with saving lives, Nielsen is also helping protect the mental health of first responders. She is on a peer counseling team that meets with other dispatchers and deputies and their families if they're in a crisis. Training to become a dispatcher takes anywhere from 6 months to a year. We have those details right now on KSAT.com on how to get started in becoming one.
In your morning headlines, more than 900 bodies of civilians discovered in the Kyiv region. This after the withdrawal of Russian forces. These jarring numbers emerged shortly after Russia's defense ministry promised to ramp up missile attacks on Kyiv. All of this in response to alleged aggression on Russian territory. That warning followed the stunning loss of Moscow's flagship in the Black Sea, which a senior U.S. official confirmed was hit by a Ukrainian missile. Amid the threats, though, Moscow continues preparations for a renewed offensive on the eastern Ukrainian region. Fighting also continuing in the southern port of Mariupol.
Well, Twitter is trying to make it a little tougher for Elon Musk to take over the company. It's using something called a, quote, poison pill, which is basically a provision that preserves the right for Twitter shareholders, other than Musk, to acquire more shares of the company at the relatively inexpensive price. The provision will be triggered if Musk or any other investor gets more than 15% of the company's shares. The move would effectively dilute Musk's stake. As it stands now, Musk has about 9% of Twitter shares. However, the poison pill won't necessarily stop Musk's acquisition bid, but it could make it more pricey and encourage him to further negotiate with the company.
All right, well, back here at home, an Easter tradition back again this year.
Yeah, we're talking about the overnight camping at area parks. Jonathan Cotto is live at Brackenridge Park. Jonathan, have you made friends out there?
Sarah, I haven't made friends, but I'm about to make friends. I'm at someone's random campsite here at Brackenridge Park, and let's see if we can wake some people up. We know there's some campers. We know there's some people inside their tents. Wakey, wakey. Are we up yet? Are we up? And what a better way. Good morning, ma'am. Rise and shine.
Oh, okay. What are y'all doing here?
We are here waking up campers. It's Easter weekend. You're camping out. What has it been like?
Oh, it's been all week out here, all week, staking my spot. My kids come out yesterday. They better all be out here today and tomorrow. And it's just something that we've been waiting for 2 years.
Now, how long have you been doing this? Is this a family tradition? Is this the first year you're doing it?
Yes. No. So when my kids were little, we used to get that table. I don't know how we ended up over here, but I want to say it's been a good 12 years.
12 years. 12 years. Talk to me a little bit about the activities you and your family do.
So tomorrow we'll have a piñata, egg toss. The egg toss is at the Joski's Pavilion at 3 o'clock. We do the train. We gather up all the grandkids and other family that comes. We do the train. We do the piñata. We do the egg toss, egg hunt, and cook and eat.
And you've been here all week. I love your tent. Talk to me a little bit about your setup here.
So my son came yesterday, Boy Scout leader. And I don't know what happened to that tent. I lost the stick. He said, don't worry about it, Mama. You just need something for yourself. And I slept here, and Noe slept in the car. And today he said he's bringing a big one because my granddaughters, the older ones, they're going to spend the night.
Wow. Way too cool. Ma'am, thank you so much. Sorry we had to wake you up. Noe, you were awesome with the cascarrones.
Get him now.
Oh, no, they got me. Okay, payback is always good, y'all. Yes. Happy Easter. We're here at Brackenridge, folks. But guess what? Not all the tables are highly solicited. We'll have details on parts of the park that nobody wants to be at. Max, Sarah?
Thank you, Jonathan. What good sports out there. Yeah. All right, so with Easter coming up tomorrow, many popular retailers will be closed for the holiday. That includes, I'm going to say it, H-E-B. H-E-B will be closed tomorrow, so do your shopping today. Other places like Costco, the San Antonio Museum of Art, and Target, some places will still be open, like Academy, CVS Pharmacy, and Dollar General. For a complete list of closings and openings, head to KSAT.com.
Time now, just about 8:08, 71 degrees out.
Up next, a tragedy for one local family turns into hope for 4 others. How a local man's selflessness to donate his organs is saving lives.
And a quick live look out at the Alamo City, 71 degrees now. It is humid out there. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey for your full Easter weekend forecast in just a bit. Welcome back. It has been almost 2 weeks since a devastating crash took the life of a San Antonio man.
But now Richard Chassain's family says he is a hero.
He was only 22 years old, and so his organs are still young, and he's still young, and we knew that somebody else could sustain life from his life, hopefully.
Well, police say a driver hit Chassain from behind near West Hutchins Place, less than a mile from South San Antonio High School. His aunt says he was skateboarding home from work and the driver did not see him. The next day, he was taken off life support. His heart, liver, and kidneys were donated to 4 people.
He is still living. His heart's beating. It's in somebody else, though. So he's still alive to me and to my family.
Chassain's family does not know who received his organs, but they hope they can meet them one day and wish them long and healthy lives.
All right, well, time now. 8:12, 71 degrees. Sarah, we've been talking about everything from the heat index to even little droplets out there.
Right, there's some drizzle out there. And although we do have a chance, guys, for some isolated storms this weekend, the big story, especially today, the heat and humidity. It's going to feel close to 100 degrees this afternoon.
Melty cascarones.
Melty cascarones.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, outside right now, take a look out there. You can see the humidity, can't you, on the horizon? Very, very very humid out there. Cloudy skies too. These clouds will be stubborn, but we'll see them clear in the afternoon. It's 71. Winds are from the southeast right now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and we're really not going to have much of a wind today. Winds will stay from the south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So unlike the last several days, today will not necessarily be very windy, but it will be humid. And in the afternoon, it will become hot. It's 68 at Bernie, 70 in Rio Medina, 73 in Castroville, 75 in Stinson, 71 JBSA Randolph, 71 in San Antonio, 72 in New Braunfels, and it's 67 in Los Maples. Look at the temperature spread across the state of Texas. Behind a cold front, it's in the 40s and 30s in the panhandle of Texas. And this is a fairly potent cold front for this time of year. Now, this cold front has got a lot to get through in south central Texas. It is humid, it is hot, and as it moves into south central Texas, it's going to lose a little bit of its oomph, and we're really not going to see temperatures in the 40s, but it is going to provide a small bit of lift for some isolated being the key word there, showers and storms this weekend, mainly up north of San Antonio. But you can see the main area of rain around this system is to the right there of that low pressure system. Severe weather for Arkansas and Oklahoma this morning. So let me take you through the high-res futurecast. Most of the day today is going to be quiet. Vast majority of us are not going to see any rain today, just experience the heat and humidity. But as that front gets across the hill country this afternoon, it is going to perhaps spark off one or two isolated storms, some of which could be on the strong side. But again, notice that the best chance for showers and storms up across the hill country, and even then, it's only a 10 to 20% chance. Otherwise, the big story today, the heat. Take a look at high temperatures. New Braunfels 92, Seguin 92, Castroville 96, 95 in Rio Medina, 97 in Hondo, and 93 here in San Antonio. But because of that thick humidity, dew points in the 60s and 70s at the top of the scale, it is going to feel even hotter. This is a look at the potential for heat index this afternoon. Feeling like 97, so feeling closer to 100 degrees in San Antonio. It is going to be a hot day today. And again, looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, most of the morning will be cloudy. We are going to see skies clear in the afternoon somewhat, and that's when temperatures are really going to heat up. We'll be at 90 by 3 p.m. and then in the afternoon and later afternoon hours, about 93 for the high. Again, notice 10% chance for a stray shower or storm, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. All right, let's talk about Easter. Easter is going to be mainly quiet. All right, in the morning, going to services, 70 degrees, cloudy outside. Right around midday, perhaps doing some Easter egg hunts. It's going to be near 80 degrees. And then in the afternoon, 88 for the high. And once again, we're going to have to watch out for a chance for an isolated storm, mainly north of San Antonio, but the chance is there, and it should be after all of the Easter activities tomorrow. So keep that in mind. 88 for the high temperature on Easter Sunday. And then in the week ahead, it's going to be windy and warm and humid in the week ahead. Coming up in the forecast, I'm going to walk you through the futurecast for your Easter Sunday so that you can plan your day out. Sarah and Max.
Do you like the Easter peeps in the bunny form or in the actual like chick form?
I think you're gonna have to bring them in. We got a taste test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, bunnies are bigger, so you get, more peep.
We're doing it live. 8:16, 71 degrees out.
Go Spurs, go!
All right, so the season is officially over. What does that mean for the team's draft picks going into next season? We're going to explain in just a bit. Good morning, welcome back, and go Spurs, go. Now that the Spurs season has officially come to an end, it is time to move forward, focus on the next season, and that starts with the draft. The Spurs have 3 first-round picks, including one in the top 10, thanks to their loss to the Pelicans in the play-in tournament. We also wait to see who returns next season. One of the big question marks, this man right here, Lonnie Walker IV, clearly developing into a solid player, setting career highs in points with 12.1, shooting 49% from the field on twos, 2.2 assists, and playing in a career-high 70 games this season. Hopefully, that's good enough for the Spurs to bring him back next season, since his 4-year, $12 million contract is up, and he's now headed to free agency.
I'm hopeful to be back.
this point, you know, it's up to my agents, you know. So I'm gonna take a nice little vacation with my fiance and call it a summer, and then get back into grind mode. This is my first time, so I really can't tell you what's all gonna be going on and whatnot. You know, I'm just gonna stay in my lane. I'm the basketball player, you know. I'm here to hoop. I'm not here to be an agent and talk about negotiations and whatnot.
Pro football coverage.
Personally, Lonnie's one of my favorite players.
Law firm.
All right, so Dallas Cowboys. Police in Dallas want to talk to Cowboys cornerback Kelvin Joseph as part of their investigation into a murder that happened last month in Greenville. So the victim, 20-year-old Cameron Ray, shot and killed back on March 18th. And this happened after an altercation with a group of individuals that included Joseph, the cornerback on the Cowboys. Video has emerged from Dallas TV station KDFW that shows the group may include the Cowboys' second-round draft pick. The reason police believe Joseph is part of that group is because video shows one individual wearing a unique necklace. That video also shows shots, gunfire coming from an SUV while Ray and his friends walked towards the vehicle after the confrontation. Joseph's attorney says they tell the Dallas Morning News that his client, Joseph, was in that vehicle, the SUV, but he did not know what was going to happen. Cowboys did issue a statement saying they are currently aware of the situation. Time now, 8:22, 71 degrees out.
Well, up next, Mark Wahlberg stars as a real-life former boxer who found redemption as a Catholic priest. We'll have a special preview of Father Stu. That's next.
Good morning and welcome back. A new film in theaters based on the true story of a man you may have never heard of.
But plenty of folks are glad they did. CNN's David Daniel has a look.
I figured it out.
Yeah, 7th time's a charm.
I'm being an actor.
Oh, God. You don't belong with those LA folks. They're a bunch of fascist hippies.
Mark Wahlberg is looking for a purpose in Father Stu, based on a true story.
He went to Hollywood. He wanted to be famous. He wanted to be, known to everybody. And now, 30 some odd years later, here we are. We made a movie about him. The whole world's going to know who he is and know his story.
That story takes a turn when Stu meets someone special.
I can't date someone who isn't baptized.
I thought you was going to say Hispanic. Where's the water? I'll do it now.
That and a near-fatal motorcycle accident sends Stu down a road no one expected.
I think God saw something in you worth saving, but it's up to you to decide what you've got to offer.
Your son is about to make a huge mistake.
I'm going to be a priest.
Later in his life, he said, one of the challenges to become a father was that I had this beautiful girlfriend. Her name was Carmen. And she was Mexican and she was so kind and I didn't want to leave her. And I had to, and it was a sacrifice. And I was like, oh, wow.
We've all been wrong, and we've all done some wrong. But he came to forgive us.
Then another unexpected turn in the road.
There's no easy way to deliver this news. You have a progressive muscle disorder. The muscles weaken until they cease to function.
But he doesn't let that stop him.
What you guys get, one phone call a week in here? Who you gonna call, huh? When no one else gives a what you got to say, God does. He sees the good in all of them and inspiring them to change. So he's done the same for lots of people, and we want to continue to echo that message.
Who are you here to visit, sir?
Father Stu.
You and everybody else.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Looks good.
Yeah, looks like a good Easter Sunday inspirational movie.
Time now, 8:27, 71 degrees out.
Still ahead on GMSA, an update on how things are going at the border and what Governor Greg Abbott is now saying about extra trucker inspections in the Rio Grande Valley.
And if you're looking to try some new good food this weekend, we have a new place crafting up good burgers. All right, it's tough to watch these and not get exponentially more hungry.
I think that's pimento cheese on that.
We're going to give you a preview of David Elder's latest Texas Eats. I need it.
Yes, please.
Good morning, welcome back, and happy Saturday. 8:31 this morning, Saturday, April 16th. So, happy Passover to all those out there celebrating. Also, it is Easter weekend. We know a lot of people out and about. How's the hair doing?
It's hanging in there.
Yeah.
Got some good.
Literally hanging in there?
It's literally hanging in there. But if you're going to be out and about today, maybe I don't know, hat hat ponytail kind of hairspray weather.
Water, too. You need water.
Sarah Spivey was very concerned. She said everyone that's at the park needs to stay hydrated.
They do, because, you know, we're going to have a heat index close to 100 this afternoon. Hey, I want to show you the pollen count. We just got it in. It doesn't look very pretty. Oak is high, past 4,000, and molds are moderate at 560. Pecan is present in low amounts. But when you consider the oak count yesterday, the oak pollen count yesterday was 21,000. So we have seen some improvement there, although oak is still high. We are in the middle of oak season. It's 71 in San Antonio, 73 in Pleasanton, 71 in Hondo, 69 in Kerrville, 72 out toward Del Rio and Eagle Pass. It's cloudy, it's muggy, it's very gray out there right now, but we are going to see some sunshine, especially this afternoon, and that's going to warm us up, but the humidity is going to stick around. So this is a look at the potential heat index this afternoon, close to 100 in many places. So it is going to be a hot day. That's why I've been expressing the need to hydrate, all right? Today, hot and humid, as I just mentioned. What else do you need to know? Well, for most of Easter, it'll be quiet, especially in the morning and the midday hours. And then in the afternoon, that's when we could have some isolated storms. So coming up in the forecast, I'm going to walk you through your Easter forecast. And of course, we'll highlight some metro areas around San Antonio for the heat index value in just a few minutes. Sarah and Max.
All right, like we've been talking about, Easter camping is back across San Antonio.
Yeah, finally back in person after the pandemic hiatus, and that includes, of course, Brackenridge Park. Jonathan Cotto is there live. Jonathan, you're just making all kinds of friends.
I am making a lot of friends this weekend, and listen, I have to work the weekend, so I might as well enjoy it to the max, and it doesn't require a lot of effort, and I'm not alone here. I'm with Samantha, Samuel, Sebastian. They've been camping out. Samantha, what has it been like?
It's been cool. It's been fun. It's a good experience. This is our first time actually camping out, so it's really been fun. Like, it's cool. It's different. It's a different experience.
What about for you, someone?
It's good. It's good. We're happy to be here and enjoy that weekend and the resurrection of the Lord, and we're happy to be here.
Amen. Now, you're here with your family. I know Sebastian just woke up, but taking a look at the tent, there are a couple more of kiddos still passed out, and I know the dogs are out here today too. There's another person inside the tent. A talking tent. I know we had a commentator. A voice was coming from that tent earlier. He was talking to us, I promise. But we're out here having a good time. Samantha, I know that you guys claimed your spot here at the park with a couple of tables here behind us, but the situation is a little messy, to say the least. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Every time you go under there, there's kind of like a bird that gives you a prize under there. But other than that, it's all right, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really too happy about it, but...
The birds claimed their spot first, so they've taken over this area behind us. But Max, Sarah, people here are ready to have a good time. It's Easter weekend. Today is just a kickback, chill back day in the park. Tomorrow, we should be expecting more food on the grill, breakfast. What do you have? What do you have in store?
We're gonna have those dino ribs. We're gonna have small ribs, fajitas. We're gonna have hamburgers. We're gonna make a little those things, a plate to make mini taquitos. Yeah, we bought a black grill. We're gonna make mini taquitos. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be good food.
Nice. I like to call it un poquito de todo, so I know where you guys are at. So I'll be here tomorrow morning. Y'all, all right? Sebastian, are you ready for Easter?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, Max, Sarah, back to you guys.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, new this morning, Workforce Solutions, Alamo, has released its latest jobs and unemployment report. In the report, it says that March unemployment rate for the 8-county San Antonio, New Braunfels metropolitan area is at 3.5%. That's a decrease from February rate, which was at 4.2%. It also says March of last year, the unemployment rate has dropped 2.5 points from 6%. Meanwhile, the March unemployment rate for our area is also lower than the state's rate at 3.9%. In addition, since March of 2021, more than 55,000 jobs were added, resulting in an annual increase of 5.3%.
All right, well, here at home, we're dealing with the high heat index, little droplets there, here and there, but there are storms threatening other places around the country, and it's really hindering travel this Easter weekend.
So right now, just under 10 million are at risk for severe storms over parts of the plains and Mississippi. Here's CNN's Jen Sullivan.
and we are being evacuated.
People forced to flee their homes with short notice around Ruidoso, New Mexico.
You can hear that wind. That's just driving it. You can see right there, starting to crest the mountain. If it gets down into there, that's trouble.
Mandatory last-minute evacuations ordered after the deadly McBride wildfire, fueled by wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour, spread rapidly, charring more than 200 homes and thousands of acres. And it's just one of several infernos raging across the state. In North Dakota, facing drifts of snow over 10 feet deep, a rancher is working overtime, struggling to keep his herd of cattle alive after a record-setting blizzard dumped 2 to 3 feet of snow across parts of the state. The North Dakota Stockmen's Association and Foundation saying in a statement, the storm has wreaked havoc in the state and has been especially challenging for the state's cattle producers, who are in the midst of calving season, the busiest time of year even in mild weather conditions. Certainly there has been death loss, but it is too early to know the scope. In Tennessee, flash flooding triggered by relentless rains unleashed the search for a missing wallaby named Honeybunch at the Memphis Zoo. Now, after a harrowing 36 hours or so for the zoo staff, the wandering wallaby is back with his fellow marsupials.
Pretty crazy. Saw people walking around looking for him.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Back here in Texas, more developments on the border. Governor Greg Abbott ending those extra inspections after numerous agreements with Mexico's leaders. The governor saying this comes after specific agreement with the bordering Mexican governors. Now, Governor Greg Abbott also lifting those inspections in El Paso and Laredo. DPS troopers conducted inspections which involved checking things like tire pressure and headlamps. But the governor's political opponent, former Congressman Beto O'Rourke, says troopers were not allowed to look in the cargo holds.
So there was no ability to detect illegal drug trafficking or human smuggling, even if it was taking place on these ports of entry. Just want to make sure everyone gets this was completely unnecessary.
Governor Greg Abbott did admit that the extra inspections did bog down traffic at the border. However, the governor says he could reinforce the orders if there is not a slowdown in illegal border crossings. We know there's a lot of big elections coming up in May. One of those here locally is the $1.2 billion bond program. The city of San Antonio, the mayor, and the city council voted to approve 183 projects. All of this as part of the 2022 to 2027 bond program. And that's included in the May 7th bond election. So at $1.2 billion, this is the largest bond program in the city's history. And here's the thing, it is not projected to increase the city's tax rate. So tomorrow on GMSA, 2022 bond program tri-chair Brandon Logan is going to be joining us live. We're going to be talking about all the projects in the bond. So if you have any questions that you would like asked, you can submit them right now. Just head to the leading essay section of KSAT.com. Join us tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for all those answers. In your morning headlines, the White House releasing the federal tax returns of both President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden earning more than $600,000 in 2021. They paid more than $150,000 in taxes. That reflects the federal income tax rate of about 24%. The Bidens did donate more than $17,000, a little less than 3% of their income, to 10 different charities. The Vice President, Kamala Harris, and second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, earned over $1.6 million last year. They paid more than $523,000 in taxes. The couple did donate $22,000 to charity. The White House's release of tax returns comes just days before the federal filing deadline for taxes this coming week.
Well, former advisor to President Donald Trump is asking a federal judge to dismiss his criminal contempt of Congress case. Among the list of reasons Steve Bannon provided for why his case should be dismissed, first he claimed the congressional subpoena he received was invalid because of the makeup of the House Select Committee investigating January 6th. He also argued that he was targeted to send a message. Bannon also says his actions were necessary in order to protect the former president's ability to shield information under executive privilege claims.
No crying in baseball, at least not at this game. Two-time Academy Award winner Tom Hanks got to throw out his first pitch. There you go, performing Shakespeare at Cleveland, Ohio. On hand for the Cleveland Guardians home opener, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. But here's the thing, it was delayed by some volleyball shenanigans. Wilson, the volleyball from the film Castaway. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's fantastic. It rolled away from the mound. It had apparent act of disobedience. Of course, it was all just a great show of fun to ring in the new season for the newly rebranded Guardians. So there you go. We got the no crying in baseball, and we got the, oh, it's actually moving around.
It looks like one of those Star Wars droids.
Oh.
Party, what is it called? BB-8. That's what it looks like.
All right. Well, there you go. It was a good toss, Tom. Great job. Just about 8:42, 71 degrees out.
We'll still head Texas Eats is heading up I-35 to New Braunfels this weekend for some tasty food. We'll have a preview coming up.
But first, a quick live look out there. We know so many people out and about this weekend, whether it's camping, whether it's out for egg hunts. You want to bring some water. We're going to talk about that heat index in just a bit. Good morning, welcome back, and happy Saturday. We checked in with Jonathan Cotto to start the show. A lot of people out and about camping.
Yeah, they have to deal with the humidity out there, guys, and even some patchy drizzle. Like, I want to show you a picture of a live cam out there right now. Yeah, some drizzle there on the camera, and the airport's actually picking up on some drizzle as well. But unfortunately, this is unimportant, and it's not amounting to anything that's going to help us out as far as the drought conditions go. It's 70 degrees at the airport. Winds are from the southeast at about 5 miles per hour, and the drizzle is so light you can't see it on radar. In fact, you have to look at visibility, and you can see that visibility at the airport is down to only 4 miles. Perfect visibility is 10 miles. So it is down quite a bit up in Boerne as well, and in Castroville, as well as Port SA. So we are seeing some areas of patchy drizzle, and it is muggy and mild out there this morning. 70 degrees at the airport, 69 in Bulverde, 72 in New Braunfels, 72 in Castroville, and 75 in Stinson. The humidity, very high. That's one of the reasons why we're having drizzle in the first place, is because the humidity is very high. Dew points at the top of the scale there, muggy, oppressive humidity. And that humidity, it ain't going anywhere today. And so as we see skies clear this afternoon, temperatures rise. This is a look at the heat index this afternoon. It is going to feel closer to 100 degrees this afternoon. A very hot and humid day on deck. It should feel like 101 in Sabinal, near 100 at Stinson, near 96 in Converse, feeling like 95 in Seguin. So let me take you through the KSAT 12-hour forecast. We are going to stay cloudy through lunch. These clouds are going to be stubborn, and again, we're going to have patchy drizzle. South winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but right after lunch, we're going to see skies clear. And as skies clear, it's going to get hot. Temperatures are going to climb into the low 90s this afternoon. It will not be as windy as we have been the last few days. Winds will be from the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. 93 for the high temperature today. And you'll notice that I did introduce a 10% chance for a stray thunder shower this afternoon. The reason for that, a cold front is going to get close into the hill country, bringing some isolated showers and storms. Now, some of these storms could be on the strong side, but again, the chance for rain is only 10 to 20%. It does include that northern half of Bexar County there, but again, that is an off chance for a storm. Really, the main area of storminess will be across the Mississippi River Valley. This is the system that's moving east, bringing all of that rain there across that Mississippi River Valley, and a fairly potent cold front for this time of year. Take a look at temperatures behind this front. It's 43 in Lubbock and 1 degree in Bismarck. Now, we are not going to be that cold, as this front is really going to slow down and try to make it through San Antonio tomorrow, but it's going to really run up against some very warm and humid air. So for your Sunday, your Easter morning forecast, most of Easter is going to be quiet. We could have some patchy drizzle early tomorrow morning, near 70 degrees in the morning hours. So for any services, after services for Easter egg hunts, it's going to be close to 80 degrees and mostly cloudy. It's in the afternoon tomorrow that we're going to watch out for some more isolated showers and storms. Again, isolated being the key word there, a high temperature near 90 for your Easter Sunday. We'll be watching for those chances for isolated storms carefully, and of course you can have your KSAT Weather Authority app with you, but the big story this weekend is going to be that humidity it's going to be high. And in the week ahead, we'll have warm and muggy conditions and only a small chance for isolated showers and storms during the middle part of the week there. Another look at your pollen count coming up in a bit. Sarah and Max.
All right, Sarah Spivey, thank you so much. 8:49, 71 degrees out.
Well, up next, ready for some good food this weekend. Those look like pickled onions. Yes, we'll get a first look at a special Easter weekend episode of Texas Eats.
Good morning and welcome back and happy Saturday. So it is Saturday. That means we get another delicious episode of Texas Eats.
Yum, yum. Today at 10 a.m., David Elder takes us New Braunfels to a restaurant offering up some craft burgers and beer with an elevated twist.
All right, so this is the Diablo Burger. What's going on in this one?
The main feature in this burger is the homemade jalapeno cheese fritter. There's 2 of those on the burger. Southwest Ranch, fresh jalapenos. We have a pickled red onion, jalapeno bacon, and it's a blackened patty. Delicious. It's definitely our best seller.
Y'all don't play around on the sizes on there. All that loaded goodness. Come on. Here we go. Take the bite. Oh, wow. Spicy, cheesy, meaty goodness. This is like everything you want when you think of a spicy cheeseburger. Give me some love. If it's not messy, you're doing something wrong. Slightly spicy. That crispy bacon that's on there as well. It's seasoned really well. Got a little bit of that cheese, that cream on there, so it blends it all out. It's a nice, well-rounded bite. But the bread, I love the roll that's on there because it's gonna give you that vehicle that you want to hold all that in. I gotta say the winner though, of this whole bite is those pickled red onions. It adds the sweetness and the acidity that cuts through that creaminess, that kind of balances out that heat.
I'm in.
Officially hungry.
Yeah. Oh, now we're officially hungry.
Yeah.
Our stomachs have been growling since like 7:03.
I know.
Time now, 8:54, 71 degrees out.
Hey, let's take a look outside with the roads. We know that there will be people out and about, but so far looks like everything is smooth sailing, especially at 37 in Hackberry. Earlier that was 35. All right, if you're looking for some Easter activities here at home, especially for the kiddos, we have a list right now on KSAT.com that includes several Easter egg hunts around town this weekend. One of them is at the Tower of Americas. I know I was going through this list, they're going to have a helicopter egg drop at one of these places, so make sure you go to KSAT.com to check out that full list.
All right, time now, 8:57, 71 degrees out.
All right, Ukraine's president is now accusing Russian troops of terrorizing civilians. We'll have the latest on the war and how the U.S. is responding.
And the Easter camping tradition continues in parks across San Antonio. We've been checking in with some campers and Jonathan Cota. We're going to do so again in just a little bit live, give you a full preview. We'll see you then. New accusations that Russia is hunting anyone who has served in the Ukrainian armed forces or the Ukrainian government. We have the latest on the situation and Russia's warning to the United States to stop supplying Ukraine with aid.
TxDOT wants you to slow down in work zones. Still ahead, the plead from work crews that could save lives.
And taking a live look out at the Alamo City. Not much to look out there right now. High heat index, possible drizzle out there. A lot of humidity. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments. Until then, good morning. It is 9 o'clock this Saturday, April 16th. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. We're just coming off our respective weekends.
Yeah.
What kind of? You worked yesterday.
I worked yesterday, and we were talking about Easter candy.
Nice earrings.
You like those?
Yeah.
I'm a monarch girl, so I have to support my butterfly since we're officially in spring. I was going to ask you, what is your favorite Easter candy?
So I'm going with the Reese's Cups shaped like a bunny, yeah. Because you can't go wrong with Reese's Cups.
Okay, Sarah Spivey.
You know what? I like those too. Nice. I like those too.
Oh,
By
no
the way,
one likes Peeps, man. I'm the only Peeps person.
You're a Peep gal. By the way, happy Passover, Max.
Oh,
happy
thank you.
Passover, everyone
Thank
out there. You know, the pollen count today, it's improved from yesterday. You know, it's not great. Oak is still high at 4,000, but, you know, it is down quite a bit from yesterday. Yesterday, Oak was at 21,000. So again, putting it in perspective, yes, the Oak is high. Yes, it's still going to cause some issues, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday. Molds are moderate, so they are up a little bit, elevated at 560, and pecan is low. Outside right now, Max said earlier, not too much to look at. It is not pretty. I think the atmosphere is teasing us, right? Because we're desperately in need of rain, and it feels like rain out there, but really the airport's only picking up on some light drizzle, and light drizzle is just not going to cut it as far as drought conditions are concerned. It is 70 degrees. Winds are gradually becoming calmer. And as you can see outside, even though drizzle is hard to detect on the radar, we can look at visibility, and visibility is down all across the KSAT 12 viewing area. And that shows that there are some areas of patchy drizzle. Visibility down to 5 miles in Kerrville, down to 5 in San Antonio, down to 6 in New Braunfels. Perfect visibility is 10 miles. So you can see down quite a bit. And it's all because it's very humid out there. Dew points are in the upper 60s, low 70s. This humidity is going to stick with us today. Even though clouds are going to head out, the humidity is going to stay high. So today, we're going to be looking at a high temperature in the low 90s, but it'll feel hotter than that because of the high humidity. Coming up, I'll have a look at the forecast heat index values for the day today. And then there is an off chance for a stray storm, not only today, Saturday, but also for your Easter Sunday. Now, the key word there is in the afternoon and isolated. So most of Easter itself should be just fine for any kind of outdoor activities. But we've got a lot to unpack in the forecast. I'll have a look ahead in a few minutes. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. As Sarah was saying, Passover started last night. We are in the midst of Easter weekend, and we know a lot of people out and about, out at different San Antonio parks.
Yeah, finally, people are able to camp overnight back in person. Jonathan Cotto making lots of friends at Brackenridge Park. Jonathan, who do you have for us now?
I have, that's right, making a lot of friends. And you know what, Max, Sarah, the beautiful thing about being out here is that I'm getting to know these families who have been disrupted by the pandemic. As we know it last year, they weren't allowed to camp out, but this year they're making up for lost time. And I'd love hearing about these family traditions that despite cancellations and postponements in the pandemic, they're continuing with these lifelong traditions of coming out to Brackenridge Park, camping out and enjoying Easter weekend. Such is the case here with this family we see here. They're all gathered today in preparations for tomorrow. The grill just made an appearance here on the scene. We know this is going to be taking place throughout today and throughout tomorrow. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to hear and hang out with La Familia. Ma'am, I know you were talking to me earlier that this is a family tradition for y'all.
Yes, it is. It's been for tradition since I've known since I was maybe 5 or 6 years old with my parents, and now I bring my kids over here, and my kids are going to the tradition, and I want them to do that.
And it's a beautiful thing to see that, you know, your parents did it with you, you do it with your kids, and now your son is doing it with his children. Andrew, talk to me a little bit about how, you know, last year you guys weren't able to camp out. This year you are. How good does it feel?
It feels good because we didn't come last year either. It was a COVID thing. It was one day only. They only let us come. But it was fun. It's more exciting for the kids. It's tiring for us, but it's fun for us. You know, it's just we're out here relaxing, away from work, away from, you know, the problems. And
that's right. I know life can get busy. Like we're constantly working day in, day out. How important it is to be able to take a weekend to just spend quality time under a tree in a beautiful park in celebration of this Easter weekend.
It's really important. It takes a lot of stress off, and it's family bonding, like my mom said. It's if you know what's worth working and making money and stuff like that, but if you can't spend it with your family, you know.
I couldn't agree with you more, Andrew. Thank you so much. And you said it well, family bonding, and that's what a lot of the families are doing out here at Brackenridge Park. They're celebrating Easter in their own way, but most importantly, spending quality time with their loved ones. From Brackenridge Park, Jonathan Cotto. Back to you, Max, Sarah.
Thank you, Jonathan. I love the confetti in the hair there. All right, Easter is tomorrow, of course, and a lot of places will be observing the holiday. That means some of your favorite places will be closed, including H-E-B. H-E-B will be closed tomorrow, so make sure you hit it up today if you need anything. Other places like Costco, the San Antonio Museum of Art, and Target are all going to be closed. Now, some places will still be open, like Academy, CVS Pharmacy, and Dollar General. For a complete list of closings and openings, just check out KSAT.com.
Well, there are some big elections coming up in May. One of the biggest here locally, the $1.2 billion bond program. So the city of San Antonio mayor and city council voting to approve 183 projects, all part of that big bond program. And it comes up on May 7th. That's when the bond election is. So at $1.2 billion, this is the largest bond program in San Antonio's history. Here's the thing. It is not projected to increase our city's tax rate. So tomorrow on GMSA, 2022 Bond Program Tri-Chair Brandon Logan is going to be joining us live to talk about all the projects. If you have any questions, which I'm sure you do, about the bond program, $1.2 billion, you can submit those questions right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. Join us tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for all the answers. All right, it is National Work Zone Awareness Week, and TxDOT officials are pleading with drivers, give their crews a break.
Yeah, according to TxDOT, work zones saw a deadly rise in crashes last year. More than 26,000 crashes were reported, resulting in more than 200 deaths. Traffic Authority Stephen Cavazos has more on what work crews need you to know to help them keep safe.
If there's one thing drivers can expect, it's congestion here along Loop 1604 on the city's north side. But TxDOT crews say the temporary pain will become a permanent gain for drivers, at least within the next few years.
We're going to be expanding to 5 lanes in each direction, so we're going to be adding a lot of capacity.
Ismael Solalinde is overseeing the Loop 1604 North expansion project. He says it's a job that requires caution, especially when it comes to navigating heavy equipment and materials along the busy corridor. But despite the careful attention, it doesn't take much before these work zones become danger zones.
We get those distracted drivers that blows in through our work zone, putting all our workers in danger.
TxDOT San Antonio reported over 2,000 crashes in area work zones last year. 21 deaths were also reported, as well as over 50 serious injuries.
A lot of things can happen very quickly.
TxDOT urges drivers to stay alert when they approach work zones. Be on the lookout for signs and crews wearing bright-colored vests. Solalinde says it's a 24/7 job and reminds drivers crews are there to make the roads a better place. But he asks,
be patient with us and help us safely get this project completed.
Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News.
And for the latest closures, just go ahead and take out your phone right now, because it can be a little bit of a quick draw, and open your camera app, and you can scan that QR code right now on your screen. It will take you directly to KSAT's traffic page, where you can get all the information on all of those closures.
All right, headed to the war in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accusing Russian troops of terrorizing civilians and hunting for anyone who served in Ukraine's military or Ukraine's government.
ABC's Christine Sloan has a story.
A U.S. official tells ABC Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is asking President Joe Biden to designate Russia a state sponsor of terrorism. That designation would trigger some of the toughest sanctions under U.S. law. In his Friday speech to Ukraine, Zelensky called for a ban on Russian oil, saying democratic countries, quote, must admit that money for Russian energy resources is in fact money for the destruction of democracy. Zelensky on CNN.
The less weapons the Russian Federation that attacked our country has, the better for us. The less capable they are.
But it's the same mentality the Russians have about Ukraine. Russia sending a formal diplomatic message to the U.S. and all nations arming Ukraine, demanding they stop sending weapons or risk unpredictable consequences. The warning comes as the U.S. begins delivering $800 million worth of new weapons to Ukraine.
Given the potential desperation of President Putin and the Russian leadership, none of us can take lightly the threat posed by a potential resort to tactical nuclear weapons or low-yield nuclear weapons.
Meantime, U.S. officials say Ukraine was indeed responsible for an attack on Russia's flagship in the Black Sea. That warship ended up sinking. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
Time now, 9/11, 71 degrees out.
So to come on GMSA, a local family grieves the loss of their loved one by turning tragedy into hope for several other families. A story of healing through an organ donation.
And a New York tourist destination has been transformed into, get this, a 70s hotspot. People flocking to roller skate in the sun. I know roller skating was like a pandemic fad.
You were later, though, in the 90s.
Oh, for sure.
After Brink.
Yeah, after Brink and roller hockey, come on.
Everyone thought they were Brink. I think I had a crush on the guy who played the Brink character. Same. Sarah Spivey knows what I'm talking about. All right, Sarah Spivey's going to have our forecast when we come back. All All right, New York City is rolling back into the 1970s with its latest attraction.
They've transformed an iconic destination into a roller skating rink. So this is Flipper's Roller Boogie Palace in Rockefeller Center, home to the famous Christmas tree and ice skating rink. But it's been transformed from that iconic ice skating rink into a summer hotspot. The rink officially opened yesterday, attracting dozens of skaters. Now, the roller skating rink will be open April through October, 7 days a week. So have you been to the ice skating rink?
I haven't. I mean, I've been to New York and been in Rockefeller Plaza many times, but I would love to do that. I loved rollerblading and roller skating when I was a little girl.
Yeah. All right. So back here at home, 71 degrees out, probably a little more humid here than it is in New York right now.
Oh, absolutely. And drizzly outside right now, too. Take a look at one of our cameras capturing that drizzle here around San Antonio. It's patchy drizzle for sure, but it's out there. 70 degrees. Visibility is down from a perfect 10 to 5 miles because of that because of that patchy drizzle out there. And it's a warm morning. I mean, temperatures are in the 70s, 72 Hondo, 73 Del Rio, 77 in Cotulla. Closer to San Antonio, you can see it's 70 at the airport, 66 in Boerne, 71 in Converse, 75 in Simpson, and 73 in New Braunfels. Let's take a look at the state because there is to our north a cold front. And this cold front, while it's not going to make us in the 30s like what they're dealing with in Amarillo, it is going to allow for the off chance for an isolated shower or storm. You can see most of the storminess is to the east of this system, but still might provide just enough lift this afternoon for 1 or 2 pop-up showers or storms across the hill country, some of which could be strong. But notice that the better chance for rain is well to the north of San Antonio. Still, we'll be keeping an eye on things. Here, it's going to be hot and humid. In spite of the fact that it's cloudy right now, we are going to be seeing some sunshine, especially during the second part of the day, and that will be enough to warm us up. We'll be looking at high temperatures in the low to mid 90s, 92 Converse, 92 in Seguin, 93 in San Antonio, 99 in Uvalde and Sabinal. But because it's going to be so humid with dew points at the top of the scale, oppressively humid outside, it's going to feel even hotter than what the thermometer reads. So we're looking at a heat index value this afternoon in the upper 90s, close to 100 degrees. So all in all, a hot and humid day in spite of the patchy drizzle out there right now. Speaking of, that should come to an end by around noon. Again, we're going to be locked into the clouds until the afternoon, and that's when temperatures are going to be warming up into the mid 80s right around lunch. And then in the afternoon, low 90s for the high temperature. Once again, there will be a small off chance for a stray shower or storm. Winds today are not going to be as strong as the last few days. We're really only going to see a wind from the south-southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. And into the evening, it's going to be a mild one with temperatures falling into the 80s. So a hot day for us. And speaking of Easter weekend, tomorrow, we're really not going to have a good chance for rain until the afternoon and evening. And even then, the chance for rain is not all that good, only 20%. So if you're planning your Easter, perhaps going to service early tomorrow morning, you won't have to worry about the rain. You will have to worry about the humidity, though. 70 degrees and cloudy in the morning, right around midday when you're enjoying some lunch, Easter brunch, or perhaps some Easter egg hunts. It's going to be mild, 80 degrees, and we're really not going to be seeing a chance for rain until later in the afternoon and evening after much of the Easter activities come to an end. 88 degrees for the high temperature, but coming up, I'll show you the future cast for tomorrow as well. Otherwise, warm and humid this entire weekend, hot and humid today with that 10% chance for a stray shower or storm. Windy and mild in the week ahead. It's going to be a warm one. We, again, do not have a significant chance for drought-busting rain in the week ahead, unfortunately. So drought conditions are likely to worsen. Max and Sarah.
All right, Sarah Spivey, thank you so much. 9:19, 71 degrees out.
A young man loses his life, and as a result, he is able to give life to so many. That story is next.
Welcome back. Almost 2 weeks ago, a young man in his 20s was killed in a devastating crash.
But now Richard Chassain's family says he is a hero.
He was only 22 years old. And so his organs are still young, and he's still young, and we knew that somebody else could sustain life from his life, hopefully.
Police say a driver hit Chassain from behind near West Hutchins Place, less than a mile from South San Antonio High School. His aunt says he was skateboarding home from work, and the driver did not see him the next day. He was taken off life support. His heart, liver, and kidneys were donated to 4 people.
He is still living. His heart's beating. It's in somebody else, though. So he's still alive to me and to my family.
Chassain's family does not know who received his organs, but they hope to meet them and wish them long, healthy lives.
Time now, 9:23, 71 degrees out.
It's a holiday weekend and families are together celebrating. When we come back, we're telling you about some things happening around the city that you can do. All right, in honor of Easter, KSAT has curated a list of some things to do around town for the family. There is an Easter egg hunt and market at Travis Park that's happening today, where you can take photos with the Easter Bunny, happening from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. again today. And then a community egg drop at Calvary Baptist Church. That's happening tomorrow. So they have Easter services at 9 and 11 on Sunday, and then at 10 a.m. is that big helicopter egg drop that will take place again at 10 o'clock. And then the Easter extravaganza at the Tower of America is happening tomorrow at noon, at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. We have a much bigger list of all those family events happening right now on KSAT.com.
The helicopter drop is always so cool.
It's so cool when they release the eggs. It's raining eggs.
Time now, 9:27, 71 degrees out.
All right, later on GMSA, as Easter celebrations get underway, kids are eating all kinds of sugary treats. Find out how you can let your kids still have their sweets without them getting into a sugar overload.
And Governor Greg Abbott busing of immigrants into D.C., shaking Washington insiders the wrong way. Who is calling on Abbott and what they're calling it a publicity stunt? We have a report from the Capitol after the break. Good morning, welcome back, and happy Saturday, 9:30 this morning. And I gotta say, it is already hot out there.
It's a woof kind of day. We walk out and you're like, oh, woof, the humidity. It's hitting me in the head, Sarah, and it's not going away.
No, the humidity is going to stick with us. Wait, there we go. There's my mic. Although we are going to see... The humidity got the mics. Woof. Okay, so although we are going to see some sun this afternoon, let's start with the pollen count. So in the pollen count today, yes, Oak is high at 4,000. But the thing is, it's down quite a bit from yesterday. Yesterday, Oak was at 21,000. So an improvement there on the Oak count, but yes, it is still high, still going to cause some problems out there. Molds are actually up from yesterday. Molds are moderate at 560 and pecan is low at 50. Look outside right now. You can see the humidity in the air. On the horizon, notice that it's hazy, and in some spots, there are some areas of patchy drizzle. Meteorologist Mike Osterhage for Tenayton area said some light mist out there as well. So yes, patchy drizzle is out there. Visibility at about 5 miles, so down from a perfect 10-mile visibility because of the mist and drizzle. That is a sure sign that the humidity is high. And so this morning it is warm, muggy, and even drizzly in some spots. 73 in New Braunfels, 72 in Hondo, 73 in Del Rio. We are socked into cloud cover at the moment, but we are going to see peaks of sunshine, especially as we head into the afternoon. 71 in Converse, 75 in Simpson, and 72 in Castroville. This is a look at the forecast highs for the day. It's going to be in the low 90s this afternoon. Going to be hot and even feeling hotter because of the high humidity. So what's up with the weather? What are we going to talk about coming up? The heat index values will be high today. I'll show you those. And then for most of Easter, it's going to be quiet, especially in the morning and the midday hours. Church services, Easter egg hunts, those kinds of things. But by the afternoon tomorrow, there could be 1 or 2 storms. So we'll be talking about all of this and more coming up in just a bit. Sarah and Max.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, Workforce Solutions Alamo has released its latest jobs and unemployment report. In the report, it says that March unemployment rate for the 8-county San Antonio, New Braunfels metropolitan area is at 3.5%. Now, that's a decrease from the February rate at 4.2%. It also says since March of last year, the unemployment rate has dropped 2.5 points from 6%. Meanwhile, the March unemployment rate for our area is also lower than the state's rate at 3.9%. In addition, since March of 2021, more than 55,000 jobs were added, resulting in an annual increase of 5.3%.
All right, so we've been checking in with them throughout the morning, kind of the ideal live shot to start the day. We know a lot of people out and about various San Antonio parks celebrating camping.
Yeah, because they were on a 2-year hiatus because of the pandemic, and now they're able to do overnight camping. That's where we find Jonathan Cotto at Brackenridge Park. Jonathan, you've made so many friends out there. It's been fun seeing you have fun out there.
Yeah. That's right. I've been fortunate enough to meet the nicest people out here in Brackenridge Park. So a huge thank you to Terry Gomez and her son Noe, Samuel and Samantha, who were super fun to talk to, and also Andrew and his beautiful family that, as we know, has been coming out to the park as a family tradition for years. And a few takeaways this morning, Max and Sarah. What you want to do next year around this time is show up a week early, chain a chair, an ice chest, a tent, any of your belongings to a table, and claim your spot in advance. And let's take a look at what the park looks like right now. You just see all these tents. It's actually quite a beautiful sight to see all these families in these tents set up ready in preparation of their Easter egg hunts that will be taking place tomorrow. Their piñatas, their food, their barbecues. And also it's important to mention that the San Antonio Parks and Recreation are set up here at Brackenridge Park. They're distributing plastic bags to all the campsites, ensuring that they pick up after themselves and dispose of their trash properly. And they're also reminding families out here in the park to dispose of their coals properly. And that's the scene here. We're going to continue to hang out with the families here at Brackenridge Park. Back to you, Max and Sarah.
Jonathan Cotto, thank you so much. Well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott taking his immigration fight to Washington, and he's doing so by sending busloads of asylum seekers right to Washington, D.C.
ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks is at Union Station with the story.
In the shadow of the U.S. Capitol, this small group of migrants, exhausted, quickly unloaded off a bus that drove through the night from Texas.
It didn't seem to us that there were any local law enforcement there to meet the bus, but there were representatives from Catholic Charities. They ushered the migrants here to this coffee shop, gave them some food and water, and a chance just to figure out what's next.
Maria Cristina, pregnant, tells us her family is originally from Brazil, now headed to New York. She says they were given food and water on the bus, that the trip took 3 days. These asylum seekers processed in Texas will have to appear in immigration court to make their case. In the meantime, they seemingly volunteered to take Texas Governor Greg Abbott up on an offer of a ride to the nation's capital.
Joe Biden has refused to come to the border to see the chaos that he has created by his open border policies, so we're going to take the border to him.
The U.S. Customs and Border Protection saying Abbott did not coordinate with them. The White House calling the buses a publicity stunt.
These are all migrants who have been processed by CBP and are free to travel, so it's nice the state of Texas is helping them get to their final destination.
Abbott has been looking for ways to protest the Biden administration rolling back a controversial public health rule known as Title 42. The policy, set now to end next month, allowed law enforcement to deport most migrants crossing the border before they could file an asylum case. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, including both Democratic senators from Arizona, pushing back on the White House's decision, warning the administration is not prepared for what could be a rush of people to the border.
We are showing.
Overnight, the Texas governor backing down on another policy, ending additional border screenings he had ordered at several major ports of entry. The move had tangled traffic for hours, threatened key produce and groceries Americans rely on, and drew stiff criticism.
I want to make sure everyone gets this was completely unnecessary.
Now, Governor Abbott said that he was ending those secondary border screenings because some Mexican officials had agreed to step up security on their side of the border. But in reality, he was facing immense political pressure, including from Republicans in his own state, to reverse course on this one and try to get trade back to normal before the holiday weekend. Mary Alice Parks, ABC News, Washington.
Time now, 9:38, 71 degrees out.
David Elder taking us on Highway 90 West all the way to Castroville to give us a glimpse at some good old Southern food. Texas Eats straight ahead.
And candy, obviously a big part of Easter tradition, and it's one that kids love to take part in. But we have some helpful tips for parents looking to limit some of the sugar they take in during the holiday weekend.
Oh, give me all the sugar.
I'd rather have the steak.
I'd rather have some sun, maybe not this humidity, but hey, humidity is here. Sarah Spivey has our Easter weekend forecast when we come back.
Good morning and welcome back. There's a lot happening today, including Easter weekend fun. San Antonio Parks and Rec hosting an underwater egg hunt. Now, this is happening at the San Antonio Natatorium on a Cesar Chavez. Kids of all ages can participate. Now, it is taking place in the pool. Staffers are asking that anyone that wants to take part wear appropriate swimwear. Now, this goes from 2 to 4 this afternoon. And here's the best part. It is free.
How much fun would that be?
Yeah.
If I was a kid, I would love to do something like
Of course.
that. Okay, we've been talking about Easter candy. So chocolate, maybe some of those Peeps, my favorite, all things some families may fill their Easter baskets with this year.
But the question is, it's like Halloween. How do you keep your kids' blood sugar in check as they consume all of the holiday treats? Mandy Gaither has more on what an expert recommends for a healthier Easter.
Happy Easter! For those who celebrate the holiday, it's that time of year again. Baskets filled to the brim, loads of candy being consumed.
The candy is going to be just a sugar rush. It's going to spike the blood sugar and then drop them later in the day.
While you don't want your child to overindulge and get sick, Cleveland Clinic pediatric dietitian Jennifer Hyland says you also shouldn't place significant limits on their intake.
You can't give them this giant basket of candy and then expect them not to partake at all. So my suggestion instead would be to try to balance it out with meals throughout the day.
That starts with a healthy breakfast. Hyland says eating protein and fiber in the morning can help fill kids up and balance out their blood sugar. Egg hunts and other holiday activities can get them moving. Healthy Easter-themed snacks are also key.
There are so many things that you can make fun for the kids, like shapes of Easter bunny ears. You can use celery, carrots, bananas, apples.
And keep those healthy habits going through the end of the day.
I really caution parents from having the good food, bad food conversation. I don't want it to be we had candy all day, so now we can only eat salad for dinner. Still have your regular meals, but just try to load it up a little bit more on the vegetables.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Alrighty, outside right now, you can see that it is cloudy and that humidity is very high. In fact, on the horizon there, you can see that there's a bit of haze, and there have been areas of mist and drizzle reported throughout the morning. It's 70 degrees, and winds are from the southeast, generally calm at the moment, up to about 5 miles per hour. Today, we're really not going to have all that much of a wind difference from the last few days. Winds will be from the south at 5 to 10. But as you can see, visibility is down at the airport from some areas of patchy drizzle. Perfect visibility is 10 miles. It's down to 2.5 in Bernie, down to 3 in Castroville, down to 4 in Kerrville, down to 6 in New Braunfels. So we are seeing some areas of patchy drizzle, but throughout the day, we're going to see these clouds stick around until lunch, and then after that, we'll be looking at some sunshine. It's 73 in New Braunfels, 71 in the Converse area, 75 in Sinson, 72 in Hondo, 73 in Castroville. Up in the hill country, temperatures are near 70 degrees. And the humidity, dew points are near 70 degrees too. So those temperatures and those dew points right close together, high relative humidity, and the humidity is not going anywhere today. So as we see temperatures climb into the low 90s this afternoon, the heat index is going to be very high today. That is the big weather story for your Saturday. Hot and humid, especially in the afternoon. Dew points will be high, temperatures will be high, and the heat index will be close to 100 degrees in many places. Let me take you through the KSAT 12-hour forecast. It is going to stay cloudy through the morning. We really aren't going to see the sun until the afternoon, and temperatures will be struggling to warm up while we have the clouds. So by noon, we'll be close to 80 degrees, but in the afternoon, that's when we're really going to see temperatures soar, and we'll be looking at a high temperature in the low 90s. 93 for the high temperature today. Notice that I do introduce a 10% chance for a stray shower or storm this afternoon, especially north to the hill country. Otherwise, it's going to be hot, humid, and mild this evening as temperatures fall back into the 80s after sunset. But in this pink shaded area, that's where there is a chance for storms. It's not a good chance, 10 to 20%, but there is a chance for isolated storms. It does include northern Bexar County, and if a storm does develop, it could become strong or severe. We'll keep an eye on things, but the better chance for storms today is out across the Mississippi River Valley in places like Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi itself. To our north, there's a fairly potent cold front for this time of year. Temperatures behind this front are frigid. It's in the single digits in parts of the Dakotas. Now, here in San Antonio, we are not going to see temperatures in the 40s like they are in Lubbock, but this is going to be a fairly dense cold front. As it moves south, though, it's going to run into that warm air here around San Antonio, and so we really aren't going to see much of a cool down, but it could spark a couple of isolated storms up across the hill country, not only today, but also tomorrow for Easter Sunday. Now, in the morning, though, it's going to be quiet, near 70 degrees, maybe some patchy drizzle like what we're seeing now. By the time services let out, Easter egg hunts begin, it's going to be quiet again. Temperatures will be near 80 degrees. It's later in the afternoon that we'll be watching for a couple of isolated thunder showers across the hill country. Those could try to push south into San Antonio tomorrow after much of the Easter festivities. We'll be looking at a high temperature near 90 degrees. So it's going to be mainly a humid weekend, hot today, warm tomorrow. An isolated shower or storm is possible both today and tomorrow, but more likely tomorrow, even though it's not a really good chance, only 20%. And looking ahead to the week, no real rainmakers for us in the forecast, healthy rainmakers in the forecast. So just another measly 20% chance for isolated showers and storms Tuesday and Wednesday. Sarah and Max, another look at the pollen count coming up.
Thanks, Sarah.
Well, today on Texas Eats, after the news, David Elder takes us to Castroville.
All right, so David stopping by a popular spot serving up modern comfort food with a spectacular view.
Check that out. Really nice cut, some of the fat on the outside rendered perfectly and cooked to a really nice medium. That's the bite.
Moneymaker.
If you love ribeye steaks and you're in Castroville, this is the one to get. It has a really nice crust on the outside, lots of flavor, cooked perfectly in the middle, and those potatoes on the side, come on! Those things were rendered perfectly, nice fat content on them, crusty on the outside, tender on the inside, asparagus, and a little bit of cowboy butter on top. That's gotta be one of my favorite steak bites I've ever had.
Yeah, so this is our house specialty. It's been on the menu for several years. It's our cilantro chicken. Our cilantro chicken is marinated for over 48 hours. It's fettuccine pasta with a cilantro cream base. Our chicken's marinated in cilantro and it's tossed with sauteed mushrooms, heirloom cherry tomatoes, and then we have a side of focaccia bread.
Always here for the steak.
Pasta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just 9:50, 71 degrees out.
Go Spurs, go!
All right, so Spurs season officially over. So we got to start looking towards the future. The question is, what will the team look like? And who does that include? We're going to explain next.
I know a lot of people are going to be out on the road celebrating, traveling for the Easter holiday weekend. If you head to KSAT.com, we have a list of any road closures you need to be aware of.
Good morning, welcome back, and go Spurs, go. Yes, I'm even going to say that during the offseason. So, as you know, Spurs season officially coming to an end. Not the way that we wanted, but it is time to focus on what comes next, and that starts with the draft. The Spurs have 3 first-round draft picks, including one in the top 10. All of this coming after the loss to the Pelicans in the play-in tournament. While the front office is milling over who to pick, we're also waiting to see what players are going to be returning. One of the big questions, this man, walking highlight reel, Lonnie Walker IV. He is clearly a solid player, setting career highs in points, 12.1, shooting almost 50% from the field on twos, 2.2 assists a game, and he played 70 games this season. So hopefully that's good enough for the Spurs to bring him back and offer him a good contract, since his current contract, the 4-year, $12 million contract, is up and he is slated to head to free agency. All of this while he's been such an amazing contributor to our community.
I'm hopeful to be back. You know, it's this point, you know, it's up to my agents, you know. So I'm gonna take a nice little vacation with my fiance and call it a summer, and then get back into grind mode. This is my first time, so I really can't tell you what's all gonna be going on and whatnot. You know, I'm just gonna stay in my lane. I'm the basketball player, you know. I'm here to hoop. I'm not here to be an agent and talk about negotiations and whatnot.
All right, so the end of the Spurs season also meant a goodbye to Becky Hammon. Remember, this was a run for the first ever full-time female assistant coach in NBA history. So she's leaving. She's left the Spurs to take over as the new head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, formerly known as the San Antonio Stars, where Becky played 7 seasons as part of her WNBA career. But before the play-in loss to the Pelicans in New Orleans, Pop revealed that Becky actually left the team after the game in Dallas to end the regular season. We asked, what was that like for the players?
It was sad. It was emotional. It was it was excitement for her. You know, it's a new journey for her, and I think she's gonna, you know, do really good at it. Like I said, I told her, you know, through the ups and downs, just enjoy the journey. You know, this is just another chapter in your book, and you know, just excited and happy for her to, you know, get a head coaching job, and, you know, just wishing the best for her.
All right. Obviously, we're all wishing Becky the best. And maybe we'll see her back on the Spurs
Hopefully
bench.
we'll see her in the NBA as a head coach one day.
Time now, 9:55, 72 degrees out.
Be right back.
Good morning, San Antonio. I'm Jonathan Cotto, and I'm here at Bracken Ridge Park, where thousands of families are gathering and even camping out overnight for days, claiming their spot for this Easter weekend. And with me is Alex. Alex, how good does it feel to be out here this Easter weekend?
Oh, it's great. It's a fantastic time with your family. You never get to see them like this, and you never know the next time you see them. You celebrate the ones that aren't here no more. It's a great tradition to have every year, and I'm glad we can do it again.
And there you have it, folks. It's a tradition for so many families, and this year, it's a reality. Reporting, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Well, today, Saturday, oak is high. It is down from yesterday when it was at 21,000, but still causing issues out there. Molds are moderate at 560. Pecan is present in low amounts. It's 72 degrees, and as you can see, it's cloudy. These clouds are going to be stubborn with high humidity, but we are going to be seeing skies clear in the afternoon. So it looks like we'll be looking at a high temperature in the low 90s. Hot and humid, feeling like 95 though in San Antonio. South winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking ahead tomorrow, another warm one, a chance for isolated showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours for your Easter Sunday. So services and those fun egg hunts should be great. We'll be looking at temperatures in the mid 80s this week ahead. So it is going to be a warm week. I wish we could have more rain though.
All right. Sarah Spivey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.
Have a good Saturday.